Hello guys, I'm Chris Aponte, and this is a Tradeblock haul. What do I mean by a Tradeblock haul? Well, this is 3 separate trades. There was a big snowstorm nationally here in the country, so there was a lot of shipping delays, and I guess they all caught up with each other and they all showed up on my doorstep today. So I'm just gonna go over what I got and what I traded for, and then you guys can rate how I did in the comments below. So let's get started. When you get these Tradeblock packages in, they put the label in a little baggie and it covers the center here. Don't try to stab and cut through it because you're probably gonna damage the top of your box. So just rip it off if you can. All right, and if you can't rip it off, then just try to rip it apart at least so you're not sticking something sharp in here and damaging the top of your box. Okay. This is Air Jordan 1 Handcraft. Now this was just a size swap. If you're in the know, you know that these are considered quote unquote bricks and that they had no resale value. I happened to hit on one, I had it in hand. I actually really liked it in hand. I thought the materials were really nice. I thought the colors went together very well, much better than the Biohack. But then I was in line for Red Thunders at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I saw somebody wearing them, and I didn't like the way they looked on foot. So, just not a fan of the way they look on foot, but I do appreciate them for what they are. Anyway, somebody needed a 10.5. They had a 10. They offered me 40 bucks. So that was the trade there. So this is just, okay, so this is 1 of 4. So here they are. Gonna inspect these to see the quality. And obviously do my own little legit checking. Only really high quality replicas get this shape right on the toe. Typically it's more angled up like this. This has a nice flat toe, so that's a good sign. The materials seem on point. The shoe cement glue smells pretty good. Go ahead and do a UV check real quick. Little watermark here, a couple watermarks on the tip there. Otherwise, nice and clean. Air Jordan 1 Handcraft, size 10. Traded my size 10.5 plus 40 bucks. Let me know how I did in the comments. All right, here's the next one. A little bit, but always be careful. You gotta get your knife in here. Try to make it sideways. These are Yeezy Foam Runner Ochre. I traded these straight up for Salehi Bembury Yurts, the green and brown pair, DS. Those are the shoes with the whistle on the back. I actually have the gray pair as a personal pair, and I love the way they look. I think the whistle is hella funny. It's a funny shoe, but it actually looks pretty cool. Now, side note, when you're wearing them, you gotta be careful how you're walking down the steps. You need to overstep a little bit because the nosings on the steps sometimes, you know, the nosing that comes out a little bit more, that whistle can get caught when you're moving your foot like this. So I've had my shoe caught in a step while I was walking down, and I had to kind of shimmy it out a little bit. So you do have to be careful with that. Anyway, here we go. So this is an inside out box from what I know. This is actually my first retail pair of these. Number 2 of 4. I'm still waiting on 3 of 4. Yeah, I'll just put that there. Huh. So these shoes are just EVA in a mold. Okay, so a replica factory can just get a hold of a mold if they pay someone off out there, or they can just get a hold of a retail and make their own mold. And the EVA is the same as far as the material. The coloration might be a little bit different, but the EVA is exactly the same. So this is a retail pair. I've had replica pairs. I gotta tell you, in hand, it's not really that big of a difference. The inscription here where it says Foam Runner 11 US, made in USA, that's typically a good giveaway. Replicas really haven't mastered that embedding yet. Also, there's a little nub here. See that nub? Show you the nub on camera. See, the nub is kind of at least melted down or shaved down or whatever they did once they separated it from the mold. That's kind of where it was still connected. They did something to clean it up, and replicas typically dull. It's kind of like just this sharp piece that they just cut and sell you. So those are two pretty decent legit checking guides. Also, you always want to UV the box, because like a worse IG seller, like an Instagram replica reseller, typically their boxes will have stamps on them, and I see nothing here. Now, it was reported that the tag was detached, so that's fine. And I see the V03 here in the bottom right, which means it was a US release. This particular package here, which also has 3 sizes. The overseas releases have more sizes, and they have a different number after the V here. So everything looks pretty good. Let me know in the comments how I did. This was one DS pair of yurts, the brown and green pair, for a DS pair of foam runners. And last but not least, when you trade on the Tradeblock app, one of the stipulations is that however many shoes you're trading, up to 3, you have to ship in one package, which is kind of a pain in the butt sometimes to ship them safely, especially if you have an ALD 550. The boxes are just cardstock. They're very poor. I did trade that one time, and I did all this extra padding and stuff because I did all this extra padding and stuff because I had other shoes in the packaging as well. So, but it is kind of a pain in the butt. That is one thing that I would like to change. I wouldn't mind if I was trading multiple shoes, if I could ship them all in individual boxes, because it's easier to assure that the box is gonna be okay. And it's also easier to find the right box sizes. Okay, so this was a 2-for-1. I traded the unreleased Union Dunk Low Pistachio plus $68 for these 2 shoes. This is gonna be the size 11, which is a half size bigger than my personal size, but it'll still make a good video, and I can trade it for another 11 because I am an 11 in certain shoes because I have a wide foot. Air Jordan 11s, Air Jordan 3s, Air Jordan 4s, Yeezys. I'm an 11 in a lot of those. So this is fine. US release, no stamps. There's the code. Man, these are nice. So I have had quite a few replicas of this shoe, and they have not really mastered this coloration here, so that looks really good. Passes the squeeze test, has a good shape. I'm gonna check real quick on the old UV. Coming up nice and clean on the UV. The outsole shows up a little bit green under UV. Couple watermarks, no guidelines. Another good tell is always the tongue tag anyway. On replicas, the bottom of the swoosh is typically flat because they use a different machine. This looks good. There's a space around the R and registered trademark. Under the N in Nike above the swoosh. Looks good, everything looks good. And of course the smell. So I got this, just put them aside for now. And I got Year 1, Air Jordan 1. So I traded my unreleased Union Dunk Low Pistachio in size 10.5 for a Hyper Royal size 11 DS and a Year size 10.5 DS and $68. If you guys want to see a authentication guide on this particular shoe, you can check it out right here, somewhere. All right, so let's take a look. The one that I had a puncture on the bottom. This box is in good condition. There should be a code in here, and it's usually a little bit smudged. It's usually by the backboard here, at least the ones that I've had. A friend of mine has had them kind of all over. Paper looks correct. Missing cream laces is what he put. So it's disappointing, but it's not a deal breaker. What's funny is that the plastic is still intact, so the lace bag must have broken. This is one of my favorite releases of 2021. Of course, the I'm in Year 3 gets a lot of the credit for being Sneaker of the Year, but this is just an excellent second album from I'm in Year. I know they've done other collabs and stuff, but these Jordan collabs really put them on the map, and they look great. Let's go ahead and do a UV. Oh, there's something. That's just some dust. All right, let's go ahead and do a UV check real quick. Yeah, so we got a watermark here. The midsole, just like my other retail, shows up as green under UV. Another watermark right there in the back. All right, we're looking good. So I got these DS for my $68 and the Union Dunk Low Pistachio in a size 10.5. So let me know how I did in the comments below. And thanks for watching. I will do some more of these in the future if you guys think you like them. And remember, real sneakerheads show love.